What's going on this morning? Monday morning, and it's September 18th, 2023. A lot of college football went on this past weekend. I almost got it right with the Alabama game. I said Alabama was going to have a hard time with South Florida. South Florida gave them a ball game. Um, a couple of teams really had their tough times. I said Washington, UW, they were going to walk over Michigan State. Not only did they walk over them, they stomped them dry. That was not a problem there. This week, a whole new set of problems for some of these football teams. I was going to say race teams, but these football teams. Let's delve into week 4, college football. The first game we got is number 5, USC. They're traveling to Arizona State to play the Sun Devils. USC is a 33.5-point favorite. We know USC is probably one of the 3 most prominent um, offenses in a country. We know they're really good. We know Notre Dame is really a good offense. We know Ohio State has a really good offense. We know Washington has a really good offense. So when this Washington team and USC team plays, that is going to be all hell breaks loose, and whoever can play defense is going to win. This game right here is not going to be a football game. It's really not. They can travel to Arizona State. They can play in 100-degree temperatures. USC will trounce this team. Um, I'm going with the final score 66-17 in this ball game. 33.5 is going to be a non-issue by the third quarter. USC easily covers and they win this ball game outright. And 33.5, you can give somebody those points and take USC. Next, we have Cal against Washington. And this right here is kind of an interesting game because California's actually been playing a little bit of defense this year. But 21 points is what we have to give in order to take Washington in this ball game. And Washington's offense is too potent. They are really, really good. I think we're going to find out just how good. They're at home too. Washington is at home. That makes a heck of a difference. Um, tough place to play. I think this is a little conservative side of things. I still take Washington minus a 21 points. I don't think that's going to be an issue. 45-10, it could get a lot worse than that. But 45-10 easily covers 21. You take Washington, give up the 21 points. Next, we have North Carolina, number 17, North Carolina, heading to Pittsburgh. And North Carolina is giving up 5.5. All right. Uh, um, we know North Carolina has a potent offense too. That's one I didn't add when I was talking about USC, Washington, and some of these other teams, Notre Dame. Um, North Carolina has a really good offense. Pittsburgh's defense is deceivingly good. They are not very bad, and they're at home. North Carolina, a 5 and a hook favorite. Is anytime you got 5, 5.5, 6, or 6.5. Those 4 numbers should really raise a red flag for you because Vegas does not feel good enough to give the dog 7 points. So they're saying Pittsburgh is within a touchdown good of Carolina. I don't think so. I'm going to take Carolina here by a straight touchdown, though. 38-31. Carolina, 5.5. You give it away. They cover the spread and win by the touchdown. Next, we have UAB against Georgia. Georgia had a lot of problems this past week with when they played. They just did not look good. Georgia with South Carolina. They had some problems with them. And I'm finding out, number one, their kicking game, which is, special teams, is not the best at Georgia. And number two, when a team spreads you out a little bit and they run the football on you, Georgia's not the best team at doing that. They're going to have to find a way to solve that problem. They're going to have to find some linebackers that are kind of like safeties, or safeties that are like linebackers that can, number one, stop the run. And number two, if they have to go out in coverage, do that. I think Georgia can do that. I think with as many players as they've got that option of being able to do it. Georgia is giving away 39 points here. We're going to give those 39 up. They're at home. UAB's coming to town, and between the hedges, it's not going to be good. We're going to go 70-10. I think this is going to be an absolute blowout. We'll see. We'll see. But I think it's going to be an absolute blowout. Next, we have Texas, number 3 in the country, giving up 15 points, heading to Baylor. This is one this has got a red flag for me right here. Okay, Baylor is always a fast team. Baylor always has a decent defense, and Baylor always seems to be able to throw the football. Now, Texas, to me, is one of the top 5 teams in the country for a reason. Number one, they can run the football. Number two, they can throw the football, and they have a stout defense. They're going to Baylor, though. They're going to Baylor. I think this is one that Baylor could stay close enough. They're not going to win. Stay close enough if you take those points. Take 15. They're going to need every one of them. 27-13. Texas wins. They do not cover. Texas will win, not cover the points. All right. Next, we have Oregon State, number 14 in the country, heading to Washington State, number 21 in the country. And Oregon State is a 2-point favorite here. And this is one I don't understand. I think Washington State's the better team. We're going to see how Ukulele gets to play this week against a Pac-12 team on the road that is legit. Washington State's a legit team. I like Washington State, the Cougars here in this ball game. Plus a 2, take them in this game. They're going to win at home outright, 41-38, close ball game, but they're going to give you 2 points. You take them, run with them all day long. Next, we have Arkansas. They're heading to number 12 LSU, and LSU is an 18-point favorite. And this is another one I don't like. I just think Arkansas. I just think Arkansas can keep this game within 18 points. I think it's too many points. LSU 37, Arkansas 24. That's 13. I don't get 18 out of that. LSU wins outright. Arkansas will cover the spread here. I like them in this game. We'll see what happens. Next, we have Texas San Antonio, UTSA. They're traveling to Rocky Top to play Tennessee. And Tennessee is a 20-point favorite. I don't think this is going to be a problem here for Tennessee. I like them to win 38-7 in this ball game. That's 31 points. That's not going to be a problem. You give up at 20 and you take Tennessee. Next, we have Duke. When's the last time you saw Duke football go 3-0? It's been a few years. They are a 22-point favorite, and they're heading to UConn. And this is one I had to kind of look over a little bit because um, Duke, when they've been 20-point favorites, it's only happened like twice or three times in the last 30 years. They didn't cover two of those. They're going to Connecticut. And Connecticut, normally a cupcake team. I understand that. But Duke is not used to forcing its will on a team at their place and supposed to just absolutely romp them. That being said, I think Duke is the much better team here. I think Duke's going to cover this 22 points. 41-17. It may take a late touchdown. Let me drink my juice here. It may take a late touchdown for Duke to cover, but I think they do it. Should be interesting. Next, we have Oklahoma. They're giving up 14 points against Cincinnati, and it's at Cincinnati here. I just don't think Cincinnati can stop Oklahoma's offense. Oklahoma, they've been able to run the football, throw the football, and they've played good defense so far this year. They're a legit team. I don't know if they're a legit top 10 team, but they're a much better team than Cincinnati. And for that reason alone, Oklahoma 55, Cincinnati 28. I think Cincinnati may put some points on the board, but they're not going to keep it that close. Next, we have let's see. UCLA at Utah. I don't have a line for that game, so I'm just going to straight up give you who I think is going to win this game. If the line comes out and ends up stroking one way or the other from it, you can kind of learn from it. Utah is at home in this ball game, but UCLA is a very good team. They haven't played a Power Five team though, okay? And they're starting a freshman, Dante Moore at quarterback. Going to Utah, this is not going to be the fun times at Ridgemont High. Utah is going to win this ball game. I don't know how far, how many points they're going to be favored by, but I'm seeing a touchdown, and I think both teams are going to score. Utah 40, UCLA 33. I think it's going to be a very, very good ball game. Very interesting game. Next one we have is Ole Miss traveling to Alabama. Alabama, they had their problems this week. Alabama had their problems this week, and I'm not sure they've solved them yet. Alabama 6.5 favorites here. And I'm just Jackson Dart is their quarterback, but they got like three receivers hurt. Talking about Mississippi State, they got a tight end hurt, and they got a running back hurt. I'm not sure you can go into Tuscaloosa that shorthanded and win. But if you were ever going to be able to do it, it would be this week. I tell you what, it's so easy right here to try to pick Ole Miss to win this ball game. But they don't have to win. It's 6.5 points. I think Bama wins this game, but I tell you one thing, they're not going to cover the 6.5 points. I'm going to take Alabama 27-24. And we'll give Ole Miss that 6.5 points, and they're going to cover here. 27-24. I think it's going to be an excellent, excellent ball game. Next, we have Ohio State, 3.5 point favorites going to Notre Dame. I don't understand this line at all. I understand Marvin Harrison Jr. Has caught 12 passes over the last 2 games. That's all well and good. They have not played a team like Notre Dame. Notre Dame, they always, they stack up teams and they get better and better and better and better and better. Sam Hartman, right now, probably third in line for the Heisman, maybe second in line for the Heisman, because I think maybe he passed Jordan Travis this past week. This is a team that I think they could roll the whole season and end up being in the playoff. It should be very, very, very interesting. I like Notre Dame to win this ball game. So take the 3.5. You're not going to need them though, I don't think. 34 and OSU 33. 34-33. I think it's going to be a very close ball game. Notre Dame wins this game. Next, we have Iowa at Penn State. And Iowa, defense, 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 defense. We know that. We know how good their defense is. Penn State, um, last week, they played Illinois, but they had 5 turnovers. Illinois did, and they won 30-13. That's 17-point difference. They're a 14-point favorite this week against an Iowa team that's much better than Illinois. I think Penn State's going to have problems getting into the end zone this week. They win the ball game, they're not going to cover. Penn State, I'm going to say 20, and I'm going to say Iowa 10. And you take those 14 points and run them with Iowa. I think Iowa is legit enough to stay with them, but probably in the end, Penn State pulls away just a little bit. But take Iowa in this ballgame. Next, we have Colorado going to Oregon. Oregon is a 19.5-point favorite. They came out to gate last evening, or actually yesterday morning, 14.5-point favorites. Now it's 19.5. It's went up 5 points. There's a reason why. Travis Hunter, wide receiver for Colorado, is out. That means, he's probably up for he's probably was the number 1 guy up for the Heisman. Sam Hartman definitely could end up being the Heisman leader after this week. Travis Hunter being out for Colorado makes all the difference in the world. Somebody realizes that and gives them 5 more points right here. I think it's too much, though. I really do. I think Colorado is a up and coming team. They're not as good as Oregon. They really aren't. Oregon's going to score their points this week. Let's go Oregon 35, Colorado 26. I think they'll put a scare into them. We'll give Colorado the 19.5. They're not going to win the football game. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think they're going to put a good showing up against a top 10 team, and that's that being and Oregon is just the edge of a top 10 team. So we'll see what happens there. And now the big game, actually the big game of the week, Florida State, number 4 in the country, is 2.5-point favorites going to Clemson. Both of these two teams, neither one really to me is going in the right direction. Florida State did not play well over the weekend. They win the ball game, but man, oh man, 30, 31-29 against Boston College. Um, Clemson. Um, this is one right here that you got to be really really careful and don't let your heart control whatever you like. If you're a Clemson fan, you can't roll with Clemson just because, well, I feel like Clemson's a better team. And if you're a Florida State fan, you can't go with Florida State just because, oh, I feel like Florida State. You got to kind of look at things here. The kicking game, I think, is definitely an advantage for Florida State. Clemson home field, that's a huge advantage right there. They're going to be playing at home. I think it's a day game. That's an advantage for Florida State. If it was a night game, I would give Clemson at least 2 more points going their way with that. That being said, I really, really like the Seminoles in this ballgame. I think they can win this ballgame. I think they have the better athletes and they have the quarterback. We know Jordan Travis is an established quarterback. Right now, Clemson, I think, is still in an upheaval as to who they even going to have quarterbacking for them. I think that's a lot of problems when your signal caller is still a question mark. If a linebacker, that's one thing. A defensive back, a running back, a wide receiver, you can pull them mid game. It's tough to take a quarterback out and be like, okay, well, we might put you back in that. And anytime you start playing 2 and 3 quarterbacks, I think you're all that's a potion to lose. I think that is a mixture of lose, lose, lose. Florida State's going to win this ball game. I think it's going to be a really low scoring game. I really do. I'm going to say 23, and I'm going to say Clemson 19. Is that what I want to go? Yeah, Clemson 19. Um, you give away the 2.5 and take Florida State. Take Florida State in this ball game. Uh, really, I think that's the way to go this week. I really think it is. Um, so um, don't forget, I'll have pro picks probably with you guys maybe tomorrow. Might get on Brian's channel, see what's happening. But I wanted to do the college picks tonight. I like Carolina and Cleveland. They were 2 point favorites. Now I'm hearing 2 and a hook. If it stays 2 and a hook, I might side with Pittsburgh in that deal. That's going to be a really good game to watch. Have a great evening. God bless, and we'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye bye.